Hi, it's Wednesday. It is the 14th day of July. It is 2021. It was a very long night for a lot of folks in the bullpen. And the reason is quite obvious as you look behind my left-hand shoulder. The Red Apple Fire is what we're talking about, of course. It was toned out about 7 o'clock last night. All hands are on deck. As you can see, it continues to burn in the general Sunny Slope area. I'm going to give you all the latest information on the Red Apple Fire as we have it here on this Wednesday. A lot of people, of course, were watching our live Facebook stream last night. That's currently down for the simple fact that we can only stream for X amount of times, for a certain amount of time, and then it just shuts itself off. It's a Facebook thing, nothing we can do about. In any event, we're going to be concentrating all of our efforts today on the latest on the Red Apple Fire. And as you can see, doesn't look real good on this hazy and smoky day. Still have the heat advisory. We have the red flag warning, which goes into effect later on this afternoon. Worst case scenario is windy conditions, and unfortunately, the winds are going to be picking up in intensity tonight, and especially on Thursday and on Thursday night as a weak cold front comes in. So this is a very critical day for those folks fighting the Red Apple Fire, because the winds are going to pick up in intensity as we get through the day. Not so much during the day today, but definitely tonight. That's when this cold front comes in. So it's not pretty. Hopefully they'll get a beeline on it. They also toned out a fire near Sunny Slope Elementary School. Now, whether that's associated with the Red Apple Fire or not, I don't know. There are also, according to the Chelan County Fire District 6, too many looky-loos. There are level 3 evacuations. We're going to go through those, but there's a lot of people trying to get up and around the fire to look at it, give the folks all the elbow room they need to fight the Red Apple Fire. And again, we'll have the latest information on that. Plus, that warm forecast is still going to be hot today before we finally cool down a little bit and then warm back up. We have other news, some of it not quite fire-related. We'll have sports, including highlights of the All-Star game last night, the 91st Midsummer Classic. Also, the Wenatchee Apple Sox began a critical road series last night with Bellingham taking on the Bells. We'll let you know how they did. All the other stuff that you're used to. And Winning Wednesday makes its debut. We're going to do this every Wednesday. We're going to give something away. And doing the honors of being the very first Winning Wednesday folks who hopped on board is the Riverfront Rock Gym. Before this show is over, I'm going to let you know how you can enter to win. It's a $170 punch card from the Riverfront Rock Gym. That's the rock climbing facility down by Walla Walla Point Park, right across the street from the Town Toyota Center. $170 punch card could be yours. On top of that, 2 tickets to see Non Jovi. It's a Bon Jovi tribute band. That's part of the RLS Concerts at the College series of concerts going on all this summer at Wenatchee Valley College. Non Jovi will be playing there tomorrow night at 6:30. That is also going to be a part of the prize package. And on top of all that, isn't that enough? Don't you think it ought to be enough? An NCW Life Channel mouse pad, just to throw that in. So again, $170 punch card from Riverfront Rock Gym, 2 tickets to see Non Jovi tomorrow night at the college, and a mouse pad just to throw it in. Get ready to enter via email before this show is over, and thanks to our friends at Riverfront Rock Gym. $170 punch card. That's a nice prize. All right, 4 minutes after the hour, 73 hazy, smoky degrees. Let's take our tour. Let's see what we got. I think most all of our cameras are going to be concentrating on the Red Apple Fire. That is from our Wenatchee Heights camera. Again, it's about 1,000 acres. We'll know more now that the sun is up. They'll have a good chance to map it out. There are level 3 evacuations. They got engines and dozers on it as well. Pretty much all available fire personnel is fighting the Red Apple Fire as we see that view from the cross camera. And I believe with Megan, she's going to be working with some of the cameras that give us some slightly different angles. That, I believe, is the monitor camera. That's the Omi Gardens camera. So we have the Omi Gardens camera pointed back towards the fire. Don't really know what direction it's burning in yet. It's burning, obviously, as you can see, in sage and dry grass. It is baked dry up there. Don't let those green weeds there throw you for a loop. They're baked out dry, so that's the Omi Gardens camera. Turned around, Omi Gardens would be to your left if it was a regular camera, and so would the Wenatchee Valley. Camera 3, again, we're looking at different angles from the fire. That is, let me think. I don't know what camera we're looking at there now. Could be I don't know, is that Cougar Ridge? Oh, that's the monitor camera. Okay. Again, just a slightly different angle from the fire as the crow flies here. I'm getting a little confused in my directions. And camera number 4. And yeah, it is hazy out there, by the way. Yet another view. That is the Cougar Ridge camera looking over, so you can see at the very bottom of your screen the old station Stemilt complex, and you can see the fire there. Now that looks to be that isolated piece of smoke that you see just to the center left. As I mentioned before, they toned out to all the local fire districts, both Chelan and Douglas County, of a brush fire in the Sunny Slope Elementary School area. That very well could be that isolated patch of smoke that you see just to the left of our camera. That might not be associated with the Red Apple fire. They did tone that out. Again, a brush fire in the Sunny Slope Elementary School area, and they toned that out about a little before 6 o'clock this morning. So it looks like maybe we'll have to keep an eye out on a couple of fires on this Wednesday morning. Okay. Thank you very much, Megan, for getting that. Now, as far as the weather is concerned, we still have the heat advisory. That remains in effect until 8 o'clock tonight, and a red flag warning starts at 1 o'clock this afternoon, goes until 11 o'clock tomorrow night for wind and low relative humidity. So it's going to be hot and dry today. A little bit cooler on Thursday. We're talking maybe mid-90s on Thursday. The thing we're keeping a very close eye on as this marine air pushes into our area is going to be the wind. The wind will be picking up in intensity tonight. We could see a west wind gusting as high as 20 miles an hour for the valley tonight, and then more wind on Thursday and more wind on Thursday night before the marine air exits on Friday. Friday is going to be the coolest day we've had all summer long. We hit 101 degrees on Tuesday, so we can now make it 27 consecutive days with our afternoon high temperature above average. Our average daily high temp for July is now 96 degrees. That's our average high temp each day for the month of July. Normally it's about 87 degrees. It has been hot. So there you go. Red flag warning is up and running. Okay, from the National Weather Service. Here we go. Let's do it in detail. Oops. Well, it's really big. I'll just tell you what it is. Going to be hazy and smoky and hot again today, right around triple digits, give or take a couple, 99 or 100. The haze is going to keep the heat down just a little bit. Haze tonight, clear skies, windy conditions. We're going to get down to about 68 degrees. These mild overnight lows continue. Considerably cooler on Thursday, about 93 or 94. Again, a little bit breezy on Thursday. Thursday night, the last of the marine air pushes through. Still going to be breezy on Thursday night. A fairly comfortable overnight low of about 63 or 64. Still hazy on Friday. We're only going to get up to about 88 or 89 on Friday, so that's going to be very comfortable compared to what we've had. And then here comes more heat. We'll bump up to 92 on Saturday, 98 on Sunday, 98 on Monday. The warmth continues. One thing I haven't mentioned yet, my interview subject. I had a chance to visit with Lynn Miller, who's the director of the Wenatchee, the local chapter, the North Central Washington chapter of the First Tee Project, getting kids involved in the wonderful sport of golf. I'll have that conversation with Lynn in the back half of the hour. And don't forget, Winning Wednesday, $170 punch card from Riverfront Rock Gymnasium, 2 tickets to see Non Jovi tomorrow night at the college, and I'll let you know how you go about doing that before this show is over. Get ready to email me. Okay, we're going to take a break at 9 minutes after the hour and come back with your latest fire information. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
What you're doing is ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, you might as well throw up a screen door to block the summer smoke.
sometimes it gets
When we
warm.
breathe in the wildfire smoke, we are ingesting hazardous chemicals such as acetic acid and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. A lot of bad stuff, okay?
Well, yeah, that's why we...
Cardboard ain't gonna cut it.
So...
Go to ChelanPUD.org/save today.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
10 minutes after the hour, it is 73 degrees. It is hazy and smoky, as you might imagine, because of the Red Apple Fire. And here is the latest information that we have on the Red Apple Fire, which was toned out at about 6:55 last night with multiple agencies responding, Chelan and Douglas County Fire Districts. And also, it should be noted that the State Fire Marshal's Office has authorized the state fire mobilization for the Red Apple Fire, and that means pretty much it's all hands on deck. The latest that we have, it's about 1,000 acres. It is growing. It is threatening homes and orchards and a PUD power substation. There are level 3 evacuations, as you might imagine. That's affecting a number of residences, and I believe we have a map of that to let people know. And of course, those people who live in the level 3 evacuation certainly know about it now. And there you go, Easy Street, Warm Springs Canyon, on a lane, North Ridge Drive, Sequoia Lane, April Lane, West Eagle Rock Drive, and May Lane. You're all under level 3 evacuations. That's leaves now. According to CWAC, the Central Washington Interagency Command Center, which is located at Payne-Bohr Memorial Airport, they have multiple engines, bulldozers, some heavy air tankers are coming in, some helicopters, and so they're attacking it by the air and on the ground. As I mentioned before, this is a very critical day because they are expecting the winds to pick up in intensity, especially late this afternoon and tonight. And again, the state fire mobilization has been authorized for the Red Apple Fire, and we will have continuing updates on this via our website and our Facebook page throughout the course of the day today. The other fire that's in our general area is the North Cascades, is the fire up in the North Cascades area. It's called the Vardon Fire and the Cedar Creek Fire. There are 2 fires, actually. The North Cascades Highway is still closed and will remain closed for the foreseeable future. They're using the North Cascades Highway as a staging area to fight the Vardon Fire, which is about 20 miles west of Winthrop. The other fire is the Cedar Creek Fire, which is about 30 acres. The combined estimated size of both fires, about 1,612 acres. In fact, the Vardon Fire has burned right down to within a quarter mile of State Route 20, which you see at the bottom of your screen. The Methow Valley was blanketed in heavy smoke for much of the day yesterday, and that meant aerial resources being able to do fire retardant drops and water drops were severely hampered because they couldn't see where they were going. So they did get some heavy lift helicopters in late in the afternoon. As you can see, this fire that we're talking about, the Vardon Fire and the Cedar Creek Fire, is burning in heavy timber and very steep terrain. They're going to have an informational meeting at the Mazama Country Inn later on tonight. There is other news. 2 lawsuits opposing Washington's new capital gains tax are now 1 lawsuit. Douglas County Judge Brian Huber ordered both cases consolidated into a single suit yesterday in a Superior Court hearing. Judge Huber is being asked to rule on whether the case should be moved to Thurston County or dismissed altogether. Those issues will be decided after a future hearing. The opponents say the tax on the sales of stocks and bonds over $250,000 in value is an unconstitutional income tax. The tax was passed, by the way, by the state legislature and is scheduled to go into effect on January 1st. Wow, get ready to pay even more for a new home in the Wenatchee Valley. In the latest Pacific Appraisal Associates Real Estate Snapshot, the median sales price for a house in the Wenatchee area in the month of June, just over $425,000. That's a whopping 21% increase compared to June of last year when the price was $350,000 roughly. Active home listings were way down compared to last year, 36 in the month of June compared to 115 in June of 2020. The bright spot in the report was that total home sales in the area went up slightly compared to last year. 95 homes were sold in the month of June. 92 were sold in June of 2020. Crosswalks and intersections around the Chelan County Courthouse complex will look a bit different in the coming years. The city of Wenatchee struck a $180,000 contract to install a raised intersection on Douglas Street, plus an all-way stop at the intersection of Washington, Buchanan, and King Streets. The measure is designed to calm traffic around the county complex. It's funded entirely with a state transportation improvement grant, plus a $45,000 contribution from Chelan County itself. Federal funds moving through Congress will include a $941,000 investment in affordable housing for the city of Leavenworth. The funds were secured by Congresswoman Kim Schreier, that funds would go to land trust program to build homes in Leavenworth for workers who couldn't otherwise afford to live in the city of Leavenworth. It would also help develop recreation for families. It's part of more than $10 million that Schreier requested to help pay for community projects in the 8th District. Congressman Dan Newhouse represents Douglas County and parts north, but his main offices are in Yakima and in the Tri-Cities. Well, later this month, a 4th District representative will dispatch his mobile office to East Wenatchee City Hall. The congressman himself won't necessarily be there, but congressional staff will be on hand to help with questions or issues related to federal agencies. The East Wenatchee City Hall mobile event takes place from 3 to 4:30 on Monday, July 26th. And finally, on this Wednesday, Wenatchee school teacher Tina Nipkan Brown is the Regional Teacher of the Year for the North Central Educational Services District. She teaches remote students through the Wenatchee Internet Academy. It's Nipkan Brown's latest educational honor. She's also finalist for a Presidential Award for Excellence in Teaching Math and Science. The Ford County District also recognized as Classified Employee of the Year. That's Adriana Van Bianchi. Families during the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, 16 minutes after the hour, that is a look at news. Again, we will have the latest on the Red Apple Fire throughout the course of the day today on our Facebook page, so tune in for that of any new developments that are going on. In the meantime, a friendly reminder, we will have news for you tonight at 5, 6, and 10. 5, 6, and 10 o'clock tonight. Do we have a promo from Grant? We do. Let's see it.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, hot, breezy, and hazy weather expected today, and then a cool down by the end of the week. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granster will have the latest on the Apple Sox and a look at last night's Major League Baseball All-Star Game. That and all the day's news stories coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant, and don't forget, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call at the phone number you see at the bottom of your screen for news tips. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. You can use our Facebook Messenger app, or you can go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and fill out the form there. After we take a break, we're going to come back. We'll have the latest in sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, some celebrity birthdays, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Mignotti, my conversation with Lynn Miller from the First Tee Project, and your chance to win on Winning Wednesday. Get ready for that. It's coming up as well. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Succession is leading the way for a new generation of Chelan wineries. Named Platinum Winemaker of the Year in 2017 and the one to watch in 2018 by Wine Press, Succession is setting the pace. Award-winning wines are just a part of the overall experience. Add live music on Sundays and fantastic views, and you have it all. Succession Wines, located on the north shore of Lake Chelan between Chelan and Manson.
Wenatchee Apple Sox baseball is back on the NCW Life channel. Join us for live play-by-play coverage of the Apple Sox Friday, July 16th as they host the Cascade Collegiate All-Stars at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. Pregame takes the air at 6:30 with a first pitch at 6:35. It's the All-Stars and the Apple Sox as we celebrate summer one inning at a time, live on your local TV station, the NCW Life channel.
And we're back at 19 minutes after the hour in sports. America's national pastime had a international feel to it. Last night, the 91st Midsummer Classic held at Coors Field in Denver. Japanese-born Shohei Ohtani pitched a perfect first inning to get the win, and Canadian-born, Dominican Republic-bred Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a tape measure home run to earn the MVP award. The American League beat the National League last night. The final, 5-2.
Middle of the summer, and away we go. The best from the AL against the best from the NL. 2-1 pitch is hit like a rocket, knocked Scherzer down.
He hugged Max Scherzer.
Arenado's having a moment here in Denver. Do it with a smile and be sensational. Yeah! Goodbye! Wow! Guerrero Jr. has doubled the lead.
You should admire a little bit more. It's the All-Star game, boy. Have fun.
Back at the wall, it is caught by Judge J.T. Realmuto has put the National League on the board.
That's gone. Home run. Mike Zunino the opposite way.
Right now, the game is hanging in the balance. Here's Chris Bryant in the air to left. And caught! Jared Walsh. And the American League has won their 8th straight as they win it here tonight. 5-2.
Prior to the festivities last night, there was a very emotional tribute to the late, great hammerin' Hank Aaron, who passed away, of course, last year. Fox TV's Joe Buck provided the narration.
Please welcome a woman who was such an instrumental part of the life and impact of Hank Aaron. Through their lifelong charitable initiatives, Hank and Billy Aaron's support for education, medicine, historically black colleges and universities, and countless youth programs will leave a legacy for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Billy Aaron. Major League Baseball and the All-Star players are presenting Billy Aaron with a jersey signed by all of the American League and National League All-Star players, and a painting created during All-Star Week by Denver artist Haley Bender that portrays Hank Aaron's journey from a 17-year-old in Mobile, Alabama, leaving home to pursue a baseball career, to his crowning achievement 23 years later after hitting his 715th career home run. In addition, we direct your attention to right field, where Hank Aaron was a 25-time All-Star Game selection, the most of any player. On this night of All-Stars, on this field that will host the return of baseball's Midsummer Classic, we celebrate the life, legacy, and unforgettable impact of number 44, the great Hank Aaron.
By the way, it was the American League's 8th consecutive victory in the All-Star game. The Red Sox and the Yankees will get the second half of the season underway on Thursday. Everybody else will play on Friday. The Mariners, by the way, they begin their second half campaign in Anaheim against the Angels. The Apple Sox lost game number 1 of their 3-game set in Bellingham last night. The final was 6-4. They had an early lead in the third. With the Bells, well, they answered right back. Wenatchee regained the lead in a 3-run fifth, but quickly surrendered it back in the bottom half of the inning. We get more on last night's game from the radio voice of the Wenatchee Apple Sox, Joel Norman.
Well, the Wenatchee Apple Sox loaded up the bases on a couple different innings and were able to score 4 runs in Tuesday night's ball game against the Bellingham Bells, but would lose to Bellingham 6-4. None of those 4 runs that Wenatchee scored came via base hits, instead twice hitting into double plays to score a run, and also twice scoring 2 runs thanks to 2 RBI walks. Cole Hatton was really sharp on the mound. Though he did allow 4 runs, only 2 of them were earned. He set a season best mark this summer with 7 strikeouts and was 1 out away from pitching 5 innings on the mound. The Apple Sox only mustered 3 hits at the plate. One of them came with 2 outs in the 9th inning, and they will look to pick up the bats and see if they can get something going at the plate as they try to even up this series against the Bells at 6:35 on Wednesday night. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thanks, Joel. Adam Grobe was 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI, and Justin Simpson collected a run, and he walked 3 times. UC Santa Barbara's Skylar Hales took the loss on the mound. He went 3 innings, he allowed 2 runs on 3 hits with 6 strikeouts. Wenatchee and Bellingham meet again tonight at 6:35. Okay, to the West Coast League scoreboard from last night. Ridgefield erupted for 10 runs on 13 hits in their 10-3 win over Port Angeles. John Peck led the way at the plate for the Raptors. He went 4 for 5 with 3 runs and a couple of RBIs. Matt Kododinsky pitched 6 innings of shutout ball to lead Walla Walla over Portland 2-1. The Pickles rallied in the ninth with a run and had the tying run 90 feet away before the Sweets put the game away on a ground out. Kiko Romero was 2 for 5 with a home run to lead Corvallis to a 9-2 non-league win over the Driveline Entitlers. Nate Nankill was 3 for 4 for the Knights with a couple of runs and a couple of RBIs. Chase Graves and Alex Fernandez each had 2-run base hits in a 5-run first inning. For Yakima Valley, the Pippins handed Highline 15-5, and Fernandez ended the night going 3 for 3 with 3 runs and 4 RBIs. And finally, Austin Smith and Jake Gentry had back-to-back RBI base hits in the top of the 8th inning to lead Medford over Bend 4-2. The Elks left 10 runners stranded on the base paths. Okay, your schedule for today. You got Corvallis plays the first of 2 games at noon today in a non-league tilt against the Driveline Entitlers. The Knights will pack up after the game, and they'll go 133 miles north on I-5 to Longview to take on Cowlitz at 6:35. The other 6:35 games, Wenatchee at Bellingham, Ridgefield hosting Port Angeles, Medford visits Bend, and Yakima Valley will host Highline. Walla Walla and Portland get underway at 7:05. The world of golf is getting kids involved locally with a nationwide program. It's called The First Tee. Lynn Miller is a local director and describes what exactly The First Tee is.
It's a nationwide nonprofit organization that is actually huge across the U.S. In local communities, the smaller communities have now been exposed to First Tee. So Seattle and Spokane have big programs. We're just started up in 2019. Kids 7 to 13, and we have them 7 to 9-year-olds are in player. 9 to 12, when they graduate with their life skills and golf skills, are in par, and then birdie and on up from there. So we've had a really good support from the community. We're growing. We'll have 150 kids this year.
150, yeah. Lynn Miller sat down with me. You said they weren't expecting the incredible explosion in growth after that first year. They were actually thankful for the COVID-19 shutdown. It slowed things down. Lynn told me what they really need now is golf coaches.
I need coaches. We've hired the high school golf team as assistant coaches, but I need lead coaches, and older folks, particularly retired and have some time available to help, is really the resource we're limited by. Other than that, we've been so blessed with donations, and our funding cost is really low. So getting a number of coaches comfortable, and it's not for everybody. Some of the guys have come out here and said, I don't hear very well, and these kids are talking to me, and I can't hear them. But most of them come out here and say, oh, this isn't hard, and I have so much fun with the kids.
It's summer camp right now. Next up is fall registration at Three Lakes and at Rock Island Golf Courses. You can register beginning next month. Parents can sign your kids up online at firstteecentralwashington.org/Wenatchee. The cost is $75, but there are scholarships available. My complete conversation with my good friend Lynn Miller will air in the back half of this program. Those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday, the 14th day of July. I had 3 obscure holidays to choose from. Today is Pandemonium Day, also known as another day around the bullpen here. It's National Tape Measure Day. No, today is National Nude Day today. It began about 20 years ago when a local New Zealand television celebrity dared his viewers to go streaking in front of the Prime Minister of New Zealand on this day. So, a friendly reminder, the modern humans, we've been around for about 350,000 years, and for the vast majority of that time, we've been naked. So just a heads up on that. There's benefits of ditching the clothes. For one thing, they believe that people who run around barefoot have a lower risk of Alzheimer's. It's believed that walking barefoot stimulates neurons in the brain. You get higher levels of vitamin D because you don't have any clothes on, you know. You get better circulation. Clothes restrict circulation, you know. According to some surveys, approximately 11% of people who shop online are naked when they do it. Streaking goes back to London in 1799. The idea of taking off clothes and running around naked. Of course, streaking was the fad in the 1970s. By the way, In the United States, this is true, I looked this up. In the United States, about 12% of Americans admit that they sleep in the nude. In Great Britain, 30% sleep in the nude. Happy Nude Day. That was about the best photo I could find without putting our FCC license in jeopardy. Don't want to do that. Okay, the obscure holiday, today in history. Today is Bastille Day in France, because this is the day they stormed the Bastille. That's an historic painting. The Bastille wasn't that big. It just looks bigger. Of course, this was the event that escalated to basically the French Revolution began with the storming of the Bastille. Most revolutions don't start with one single event, but the French Revolution did when they stormed the Bastille, which was a prison to free the prisoners. There were 7 of them at the time, but there was also munitions and gunpowder, and they wanted to get their hands on that. So the French Revolution began with the storming of the Bastille. Today is a national holiday in France. It is Bastille Day. So if modern France has an anniversary, it would be today, 232 years ago, July 14th, 1789. By the way, the Bastille isn't there anymore. This is the anniversary of the signing into law by John Adams of the Sedition Act of 1798. And believe it or not, it became law in the United States on this date 223 years ago. It made it a federal crime to write, publish, or utter false or malicious statements about the United States government. Today we call that Facebook. By the way, it was allowed to expire 4 years later. Nobody was ever actually, come on, the First Amendment, folks. Anyway, it may very well have cost John Adams his presidency. When Thomas Jefferson ran for the presidency, he said, well, this is one of the things we want to get rid of is this. It worked. He won. If you land a plane on the south lawn of the White House today, you will get arrested, quite possibly shot. When Harry Atwood did it, when he landed his plane on the south lawn of the White House, President Taft came out and congratulated him and gave him a medal. Yeah, he was a pilot for the Wright brothers. Harry Atwood was. He was a daredevil. This was on July 14th, 1911, so it was not long after the airplane was even invented. He took off from Boston, landed on the south lawn of the White House, and President William Howard Taft came out and said, "Good job, Harry." Well done. Again, you do that today, that ain't going to happen. And finally, the Nazis referred to it as and I'm quoting now, the law for the prevention of hereditary diseased offspring. It required the compulsory sterilization of any citizen who suffered from alleged genetic disorders. Eugenics, of course, is what it's called, the idea of the purity of the breed. If you had a family history of alleged genetic disorders, you were, by law, sterilized. And there are still people, prominent people, who believe in eugenics. Thought we'd do better than that. Birthdays. Woody Guthrie. This land is your land. Roll on, Columbia, any number of folk classics. The great Woody Guthrie was born on this date in 1912, died very young at the age of 55 in 1967, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and one of the half dozen most important songwriters that this country ever possessed. Woody Guthrie, born in the state in 1912. We always do presidents. Gerald Ford, the 38th president of the United States, born in the state in 1913, lived a long time, died in December of 2006 at the age of 93. Of course, he was not born Gerald Ford. He was born Leslie Lynch King Jr., the son of Leslie Lynch King Sr. and Dorothy King in Omaha, Nebraska. His parents got a divorce. His mother remarried a paint salesman named Gerald Ford. After his mother remarried, their future president was referred to as Junior King Ford. He didn't find out until he was 12 years old that his stepfather was not his real father. In 1930, Gerald Ford's biological father paid him one visit, gave him $25, disappeared. Gerald Ford legally changed his name to Gerald Ford in 1935. And by the way, Gerald Ford is the only Eagle Scout to ever reach the presidency, which is a pretty cool deal. 35 minutes after the hour, still have an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, plus my conversation with Lynn Miller from the First Tee Project. But Winning Wednesdays, let's get going, all right? First of all, the email address. It's winner@ncwlife.com. Winner@ncwlife.com. It is one entry per email address. If you have more than one email address, you can enter more than once. But if you enter over and over and over and over again with the same email address, we keep an eye on these things and you can't do it. The big prize is a $170 punch card from the Riverfront Rock Gym. Now that's getting Winning Wednesdays going on a high note. They have a membership punch cards that you can go for the day if you want. They got youth programs. They'll be doing after-school programs once school gets going in September at the Riverfront Rock Gym. And they rent out paddle boards now because they're right there at Walla Walla Point Park. So you can go to the Riverfront Rock Gym and rent out a paddle board and take a stroll around the lagoon there at Walla Walla Point Park. And we have a $170 punch card that could be yours. Winner@ncwlife.com. Also, just to throw it in because I can, 2 tickets to see Non Jovi. Non Jovi is the Bon Jovi tribute band as part of the RLS concerts at the college. The series of shows that are being put on at the softball field at Wenatchee Valley College. I'll throw in a pair of tickets for that for tomorrow night. The show is tomorrow night at 6:30. And to top it all off, an NCW Life Channel mouse pad. Because we got like boxes of these things, thought I'd maybe give them away. $170 punch card to the Riverfront Rock Gym. 2 tickets to see Non Jovi tomorrow night at the college. And an NCW Life mouse pad. Winner@ncwlife.com. Winner@ncwlife.com. 1 entry per email address, please. Employees of Solion Broadcasting and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Tucker. All right, and I'll give these away at 10 o'clock this morning. 10 o'clock this morning is your deadline. At 10:01, you can't do it. And don't forget, the number 1 rule of this contest on Winning Wednesdays, if you don't enter, you cannot win. All right? Winner@ncwlife.com. When we come back, Mike McNally's opinion and my conversation with Lynn Miller, talking golf. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
This is Kelly, owner of the Original Children's Shop in downtown Wenatchee. We strive to bring you the most quality, fashionable, and fun clothing for your little ones, along with gifts, toys, and accessories. I look forward to meeting you soon at the Original Children's Shop.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I just read a friend's Facebook post, and they asked if Cliff Notes were still a thing, because he mentioned them to a younger person who didn't know what he was talking about. Now, this made me think of how much other stuff I have mentioned to millennials that, to their loss, they never heard of, like Sophia Loren, believe it or not, Aesop's Fable, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Michelangelo's Moses, his statue David, and others. Farrah Fawcett, film noir, and of course the 2 best car chase movies ever filmed, Bullet and The French Connection. Millennials, they miss out on all this stuff. That reminds me of when my kids were younger, and when I wanted to share a classic movie with them, they'd moan, "Oh, black and white, we don't want to watch this." Oh gosh, it's painful just thinking about all the stuff that our younger generation has missed. Man, kids these days. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Are you ready to freshen up your home? Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom is filled with high-quality furniture that's always discounted to give you their best price every day. Boswell's is receiving new furniture deliveries each week, so you'll be sure to find just what you need for your home without the wait. Complimentary design assistance and free local delivery. Superior customer service and the best value for your money. Start at Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been providing heating and cooling services in our valley since 1984. Arctic offers a variety of refrigeration and heating services, proudly now selling Bryant Systems. Heating and air conditioning for your home or business. Commercial refrigeration service for your coolers, freezers, and prep tables. And now, full service on gas fireplaces for your home or business. Whatever it takes, Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, the temperature experts.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Anytime I can slide out of the office and work my way up to a golf course, Three Lakes specifically, I'm going to do it. Being invited by Lynn Miller to come up and talk about the First Tee Project is an even better excuse. Lynn, of course, was on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley March, I want to say, Lynn?
Mid-February.
Mid-February, March, something like that, to talk about the First Tee Project. Lynn is the one who spearheads it here in the Wenatchee Valley. First of all, thanks for rejoining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and any exposure and advertising we get is our appreciation for your help.
So for the uninitiated, because Lynn hasn't been on this program since wintertime, the First Tee Project in a nutshell, basically the idea is to get kids involved in the game of golf.
Yeah, so it's a nationwide nonprofit organization that is actually huge across the U.S. In local communities, the smaller communities have now been exposed to First Tee. So Seattle and Spokane have big programs. We're just started up in 2019. Kids 7 to 13, and we have them 7 to 9-year-olds are in player. 9 to 12, when they graduate with their life skills and golf skills, are in par, and then birdie and on up from there. So we've had a really good support from the community. We're growing. We'll have 150 kids this year.
I had a chance to talk to your better half, your far better half,
Yes.
I might add. I don't know what she's thinking.
And by the way, the only reason this program has progressed so nicely as it has, it's certainly not my administrative skills. She has kept this thing together.
She said, I had a chance to talk to her. She said, this year's a perfect mix of returning kids, which means you've got that grassroots thing going, and new kids who are learning the game for the first time. She said it's about 50-50 this year.
Precisely. Our first program, we had too many kids, not enough experienced coaches, and we struggled with return rate. That was fixed in 2019, and now we're getting 50, 60, 70% return rate. So I think that's a vote of confidence that we're doing something worthwhile.
You started this chapter, again, it's nationwide, and there's localized chapters all over the place. In 2019, you just got going, and then COVID hit. Do you feel like, Lynn, maybe you lost a little momentum last year by not having to do it 2 years in a row, having to take that 1 year off?
Well, Dan, one of our core values is honesty, so that's going to come out right here in Coach Lynn. It was getting ahead of us. The growth was too fast. I hadn't quite got to grassroots coaches signed up. And so COVID was a blessing, actually, for the First Tee in Wenatchee, because it slowed us down so we could get our feet back under us. We did late 19, we had a class. It was free just to get the participant. And then in the fall, we actually put on a class with COVID protocols. And then when we came back in 2020, the spring session normally takes 2 weeks to fill up. In one day, by noon, the classes were full, the waiting list was full. So I just got our feet underneath us, being honest. We had finally all together. And then here we are, overwhelmed with participation again. So it's a great problem to have, but we're just now getting ourselves really solidified.
So how are you going to, it's like you said, champagne problems, right? How are you addressing the issue of too many kids want to participate and you don't have enough coaches and the people actually put on the clinics?
So there's really two fronts to the challenge. One is the golf course facilities. Robbie and Three Lakes has been absolutely incredible, providing us access at limited or no cost to help the youth get out here. And they get some byproduct of, returning kids and parents, but it's not a big deal. It's mostly out of charity that they're helping us out. We expanded to Rock Island last year, and so we're putting programming or classes on out there as well to increase our capacity. So that's the primary front, and we're making it. Parker Barth has requested that we go up to Bear Mountain. To not this year, but maybe next year. It'd be wonderful for all of us. The second front to that is volunteer help, coaches. I need coaches. We've hired the high school golf team as assistant coaches, but I need lead coaches and older folks, particularly retired and have some time available to help, is really the resource we're limited by. Other than that, we've been so blessed with donations, and our funding cost is really low. So getting a number of coaches comfortable, and it's not for everybody. Some of the guys have come out here and said, I don't hear very well, and these kids are talking to me, and I can't hear them. But most of them come out here and say, oh, this isn't hard, and I have so much fun with the kids. So that's the resource we really need, is more coaches.
Well, as you mentioned before, you had a spring session. Now you're in your summer session, which is going on right now. So sorry, kids, too late. But the fall session, is that next on the agenda? Can people get involved in that way?
Yes, absolutely. We'll open up registration next week for the fall session. It is going to be both at Rock Island and Three Lakes. We do for basically a month, 2 nights a week, starting at 5 o'clock. And Mondays and Thursdays, starting August 23rd or thereabouts, for 4 or 5 weeks here. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the same time, 5 o'clock out at Rock Island. We'll have player classes for 7 to 9-year-olds. We actually have a target class, which is 5 and 6-year-olds, that we'll do here as well. So if you have, really young golfers. So the August 23rd, we'll have registration online. If you go to the First Tee Central Washington, I'm sorry, not the First Tee, firstteecentralwashington.org is the site that'll lead you to all the information.
So, so far so good. I'm glad to see that this is because anytime you can get kids involved in the world of golf, which is my sport, I'm all for it. Where do you see the First Tee in the North Central Washington area, say 5-6 years from now? All over the place with hundreds of kids and dozens of coaches? I mean, you think you got something good going here, Lynn?
Believe me, I spend hours each day and week, trying to dream that up and to vision what's going to happen. I would say we will hire a local site director. I'm securing the funding out of local businesses and for a 3-year to make sure their salary is not at risk. That'll take some of the burden off of Nancy and I for actual delivering the classes, building up the coaches. Their target is 400 kids a year. We'll be at about 150 or 200 kids this year. So I think in 3 years we'll get up to those numbers. And then where do we expand? Maybe Bear Mountain, maybe Chelan, maybe Moses Lake. So that's kind of the model, is get a solid program and then duplicate it at some of the smaller communities. Yakima is our mother chapter, and they've been going for 11 years now and just doing a fantastic job.
That brings up an important point, Lynn. Again, we're talking to Lynn Miller, who's the local coordinator of the First Tee Project. What kind of support do you get from higher up the First Tee organizational chart? What are they doing for you?
So, to be honest, headquarters is in Florida. They do very little for us in a very local specific fashion. They're focused on the big markets: Seattle, Houston, San Diego, San Francisco. Appropriately, that's where they put their resources. There's big bang for the bucks. There's our budget's a few tens of thousands. In Seattle, it's $3 million budget for the First Tee. So it's a big deal. Locally, Yakima has been an excellent mothership. They have fielded the programs in providing us guidance in when we're about to make a misstep or how to, train the coaches. They come down and help train coaches. What the headquarters does provide is a very nice lesson plan, a book. We have here's the par level, so the kids that have graduated. Here's the player level, and they're very simple, 4 or 5
cool.
pages of honesty, all our core values: integrity, courtesy, sportsmanship, perseverance. And so it goes through little drills for the kids. So they provided lesson plans, a structure, insurance for us, and it's a really nice framework, but locally you have to adapt that to your community.
So the program is laid out. What exactly, give a parent or even some kids who might be watching, who might be interested in signing up for the fall session. Again, it's too late for summer. Walk me through a typical day here at the First Tee, we'll say for like the 7-year-olds. Give me an idea of what to expect when they come out.
Perfect. In the player class, here's a very simple lesson plan that starts out on the range. So we'll have 16 kids in the player class, 7 to 9-year-olds, actually older until they graduate. We have some 11 and 12-year-olds. They'll go a little chat about today's word. Then half of them will head to the range. We've got wonderful range coaches, and they go from barely being able to make ball strikes to, after 2 weeks, putting them out there 100, 125, 150 yards. And of course, they love to use their drivers, and we love them for them to use 7-irons so they have a little more feel. So half of them will go to the range. Half of them will stay here. I have a 4-hole putting course today. We're going to practice distance control, and then we're going to have a little competition around the putting course with the other 8 kids. 45 minutes, 30 minutes through it, we'll switch. These kids go to the range, the others come here. We start putting, then chipping, then pitching, and then longer shots. And the middle of the second week, we'll actually go out on the course and play some holes. So it's a pretty simple format. 2
more questions for you, Lynn, then we'll cut you loose because I know you're busy. I know I'm going to have viewers who say, I think this is great. I think my kid has shown some interest, or maybe he just might want to get involved in golf. I can't afford it. I can't afford. Golf clubs are expensive. Golf is an expensive hobby. Who's kidding who? It's not like yacht racing, but it ain't cheap. Scholarships. How can you help out some of the people who financially not might be able to make the First Tee stretch for them?
Yes, thank you for teeing it up. The course fee is $75 for a session, which is 9 or 10 classes. If you can't afford the tuition, you just check a box in your registration, say, I'd like a scholarship. We say, yes, sir, very much. Yes, ma'am, very much. Here you go, it's no cost. That's part of what I need to get to is fundraising, and we've had a handful of scholarship requests. We'd like to get it up to the 50% level so the underserved kids can get out here and access to the golf course and decide if they like it. So it's generally fairly cheap operation to start with in terms of kids' tuition. But if you can't afford it, just check the box and we'll put your kid in, and here we go.
What's a good day for Lynn Miller here at the First Tee? Give me a really good day when you're done teaching the kids and teaching the kids the values of golf and the importance of you talked about the integrity of the game because you're your own referee, that kind of thing. What's a good day for Lynn at the end of the day when those kids have the aha moment, as you said, when for the first time they make square contact with the driver and it goes 200 yards and they go, wow, that's fun. What's a good day for Lynn Miller?
So a regular event is one of them comes back from the range and they're kind of hanging out instead of, it's time to go and the parents are ready to go. But they want to tell Coach Lynn about that driver that they hit and it went way past the yellow flag out there. And, it's the first time they'd really, knocked one in 150, 175-yard mark. The second treat for Lynn is one of them will take me aside and say, I get to go play golf with my mom and dad. We're going to play over, at Rock Island on Friday afternoon. So it shows they have the bug, the passion. You and I know what it is to have the golf bug. And so those are really wonderful days. The last is some of the kids are pretty shy. We had 2 of them crying yesterday because they were so nervous about the class. Well, by the end of it, we get a jump because he made a putt, and he's jumping about. And so from, I don't want to do this, I'm not too happy, Dad, to that moment, it just warms your heart.
Lynn, I'm going to give you the final word as far as sign-ups for the fall session. You need coaches, you need teachers, everything that people need to know about the local chapter of First Tee. I'll let you close it out. Go ahead.
Excellent. Thank you for this opportunity. So we have a Facebook page, and you can find that in a search. And then our local website is First firstTcentralWashington.org. And that will get you the classes that are available, a little overview of the kids and what they're up against. And if you can type all that without making a mistake, then you're certainly qualified to join in the First Tee.
Still can't believe how lucky you got with your wife. That's
one
ridiculous.
last question.
Go ahead.
One last
Go ahead.
contact point. Lynn M at firstTcentralWashington.org is also my email, so I'd be happy to return a call.
Thanks for letting us come back out and goof off today. I really enjoyed it.
I look forward to getting a few dollars from you on the golf course in the near future.
Anytime. No three putts. That's my motto, and I still three putt anyway. Lynn, it's good to see you. Let's come back and talk about fall registration maybe in a few weeks. All right.
Excellent. We'll do that. Thanks for that.
All right. Lynn Miller from the First Tee Project. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we'll be right back.
To achieve greatness once, it's not the end of the journey. It is only the beginning. Introducing the next all-electric super truck. The revolutionary GMC Hummer EV SUV. Reserve one now while they last.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? The Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments for one affordable price. They are diligent with their cleaning and sanitary standards to keep all residents healthy. Residents enjoy good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Rooms are now available, so call ahead for a tour and see if the Epladolin is the right choice for you. Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. Now you can fish like a pro without breaking the bank thanks to the ProMag aluminum fishing boat by Smokercraft. It features a great layout with a spacious bow casting platform, huge live wells, and in-floor storage to safely stow your gear. See the Smokercraft line of boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
And we are back with just a couple of minutes left in this program. I wanted to give you the latest information that we have on the red apple fire, which, as you can see, is continues to burn in grass and sage. It is now estimated to be about 4,000 acres. And if you're watching this program, you saw the emergency alert system pop up on your screen for more level 3 evacuations on the east side of Birch Mountain Road. So it continues to burn. Stay close to our Facebook page for the latest information on the red apple fire, which is obviously the news story of the day today. We will have continuous updates, and we'll get our Facebook stream up and running for you as soon as we possibly can. Also, Winning Wednesday. Don't forget, winner@ncwlife.com is the email address. One entry per email address. If you have more than one email address, you can enter more than once, but only one entry per email address. The big prize today, a $170 punch card from our friends at Riverfront Rock Gymnasium, right down there at Walla Walla Point Park, right next to the Town Toyota Center, plus 2 tickets to see Non Jovi, the Bon Jovi tribute band, tomorrow night at the college, and an NCW Life Channel mouse pad. What the heck? Real quickly, your forecast: more haze, more smoke, more warm temperatures. High today of 102. The big concern right now with the red flag warning, winds. Winds will be picking up in intensity tonight, Thursday, and Thursday night as a weak cold front comes in. It's going to be pushing in some marine air. So even though the temperature is going to cool down and the relative humidity is going to go up, 2 things that we want, the wind will be picking up, 1 thing that we don't want, because that red apple fire could really get going if we get some significant winds. Winds aren't really expected to arrive in our area until the evening hours. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Wednesday. Stay close to our Facebook page for the latest on the Red Apple Fire. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.